Sol is discount Qui-Gon Jinn. I mean, like I was trying to be nice in our coverage in terms of just Sol is like he's got something going on. Mainly, I think, is drawn from.
He is really incompetent, though.
They're all really incompetent. Sol having like he has expressions of guilt, like that's like character.
Something. It's like the baseline, though.
Unlike a lot of the characters in the show, he's not cringe. There's no like cringe, emanating from him. You know what I mean?
I think that's fair. Yeah.
I don't know. I just find that show to be like intensely cringy. But he's not cringy. It's more so just that, unfortunately, I know that obviously the actor is trying really hard. It's just that the writing is not helping. Like it's just not doing that character any favors.
It's almost like, like she's what's Jackie, I think her name is. She has to like show up the other Jedi, Yord. And you gotta get a good dialogue if you're gonna do that in a way that we can enjoy it. But do you remember when like
they can't do it.
Some of the things that she's said like haven't been anything close to like either witty, funny, or just a really good observation. The three that come to mind, right? It's like put your clothes on. It's like he is. So what do you know what I mean?
Like just also, it's just he's not wearing a shirt. You gotta put a shirt on, not put your clothes on. No one looks at someone who is normally dressed just without a shirt and says, put your clothes on. They say, put a shirt on. Then again, this is a universe far, far away, so.
And then there's far, far away. When she says, people have been here in the ship, which,
that was hilarious.
You're
walking inside of a spaceship, and it's like, people have been here. It's like, no shit, people
and
have
that's the thing, if the writer were here right now, and they were like, no, she means people have clearly been in the post-crash. It's like, yeah, well, you gotta be specific then. You gotta just be like, people have been in this spaceship.
And also, I don't believe that she would just know that. I feel like you'd have to explain to me how you would know that after the crash, people would have been there.
Yeah, I think that, and that actually is a chance to show some insight.
Yeah, like, oh, it's been there long enough to where snow has kind of fallen, and they notice like footprints on the inside of the ship with snow footfalls. So you're like, oh, after the crash, people got up and moved around, or something else. I don't know. That's why writing isn't necessarily easy. You have to sit down and problem solve with your words on the paper.
But yeah, we'll have to see how it all turns out. But you got that, like, Yord has been unimpressive as well, and then all the plans they've all come up with. Obviously, Carrie-Anne Moss, we had her for like 5 seconds, and she annoyed everybody.
That's unbelievable. Like, I can't believe it's just
what
like,
a blunder.
For a couple of minutes, and then that's you done.
What a
and I'd be like, yeah, you expected that she was going to be in it for longer. Aren't you surprised? It's like, yeah, I guess I'm surprised.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
That wasn't a good idea. But
you did it. You surprised me. Congratulations, you did it. Good job.
There's that, but there's also, in the few minutes of characterization, almost everyone I've seen cover the episode was like, why was she so shit? Like, why did she let everyone get beat up?
Why did she allow so many people get hurt for so long? So it all just says something about character, but they wanted their fight scene to play out. They wanted it to be long and drawn out.
Well, I just hate their version.
In every episode.
Their version of Stoic sucks. Where it's just like, even when innocent people are getting hurt, you just sort of slowly stand up like, you perhaps are a threat.
I don't even know where does that even come from? Like, in the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, the Jedi are pretty, like, proactive in a sense, you know what I mean? Like, it's like they'll get into a fight fairly quickly.
You know, when they're heading back to the ship to leave for Coruscant, and Qui-Gon spots Darth Maul's speeder. He's like, Anakin, drop! Like, because he's like, oh shit, you might be in danger. Get out of the way of it, and then pulls his lightsaber out straight away. He doesn't go, what is this situation?
Maybe I should engage him in close quarters, hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, and like, Qui-Gon's known as like the quintessential sort of stoic Jedi, so I don't know. Boo.
Yeah, like, I don't know. It's just like this weird, like, it's not good for that character that she allowed so many people to get hurt before actually intervening. And I mean, of course, she should have won, I don't even know how she didn't win. Well, I know how she didn't win because she didn't draw a lightsaber until like way closer to the end.
She didn't just use the Force and win immediately.
Yep.
Which seems to be a big issue with the show.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing, right? Soul grabs her later on, and then it's just like, why don't you just do that? But like, I don't know, two of you do that so that she definitely can't escape.
You know, that
I can't, dude. It's
that could have been a way to like have the investigation get like an angle on it that's interesting. That we don't see how the fight went. We just know that she killed Indara, and we're like,
dude.
And
but
then
they have no restraint.
He fights her and easily wins, and he's just like, "There's no way you beat Indara. Something else happened." And like that could be part of the reveal is that she did lose, but then the Smiler Ren guy comes in. You know, just something to flavor it up.
The idea that it was going to be an investigation is like comical.
Yeah.
I am like still truly shocked by just like the idea that they have for this story that, you know, you pitch it as, we got to investigate who did this, but like every aspect, everything's been like revealed essentially like straight away. You know who did it. You know that it's twins, which again is hilarious. You know exactly how it played out, and all of the characters know that too. There's no mystery really at all. Or rather, the mystery, because this is Disney Star Wars, it's always got to be some crazy revelations about the world building and the lore. It can never just be a mystery that's small scale, low stakes, and pertains to the characters.
What's funny is because people comparing it to when Vader fought Reva, right? And it's like, yeah, but I can actually buy that more. That Vader was like, I don't need my lightsaber to beat you, you know, because he's
because it's Darth Vader.
Got a bit of ego going on there, yeah, for sure, which is totally fine. But the idea that our stand-in for super stoic Jedi is like, I will not use my lightsaber to prove I'm better than you. Like remember the whole thing of they only pull out a lightsaber if they intend to kill line, and then they later get it out as a flashlight.
Yeah.
Like it's the kind of shit that
pretty funny.
There's obviously no redrafting happening. Why would you even entertain the idea that there is?
I like
you can't kill a Jedi with weapons.
Yeah, blades don't kill a Jedi. Oh, it was funny, dude.
On the first thing we see is someone killed by a knife.
On FNT, Ryan was talking about how wouldn't the line have been so much better if what he was referring to by Jedi when he said you can't, you know, like topple them with a blade or a laser is like the order itself. And an individual Jedi, of course, can be taken down by all sorts of weapons, but the idea, the institution is going to take a lot more than that. It's like, that would make a lot more sense, but unfortunately, it's just not what he said. He said, you can't kill a Jedi with blades.
And she makes it very clear as well that she has to do it without using a weapon, otherwise she's going to get in trouble. It's very much not metaphorical, it is literal.
This doesn't line up very well with Order 66.
No.
Because all those Jedi were killed with weapons.
A lot of lasers.
Whatever they're doing is probably not going to be the Sith. It's going to be some new thing that they've invented. That would be my guess.
Oh yeah, like they weren't Sith, and the
Acolyte is not the Sith. It'll be kind of like what the Night Sisters were, right? You created some new thing. Yeah,
the ones in Ahsoka, people were like, "No, those aren't Sith. Those are some." Like, yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. I think that they want to. They're gonna come for the Old Republic eventually, guys. Don't you worry. They'll be when this era doesn't pan out for them, and it won't. They will head back there as well and plunder it for all it's worth.
You guys remember at the beginning of the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, they did that huge 3-minute previously on for all the prequels.
I think so. Yeah. I did.
Yes,
yeah. We were talking about that. Yeah.
They just completely changed the music, and it was the most good God, that was the hydraulic press of the squeezing every last piece of juice out of the prequels, and they're gone, they're dead, it's crusted over. But yeah, they got to find more things to do, and anything you think is safe, they're coming.
Nothing is safe, except. I mean, in a way, Andor is safe because they're not going to pillage anything from Andor, I don't think.
No, there's no point.
Because it's just not... Yeah, there's no point in them taking things from Andor.
The fact that
I think Andor
Tony Gilroy's in charge of Season 2, from what we've seen, everyone's very happy with how Season 2 has been created, who's involved in it, and that's the end of the story. So hopefully it just ties off and it can't be destroyed. It's a small, nice little thing. And
That'd
yeah,
be nice.
it's not popular enough for them to try and pillage it, you know, to be like, we're going to start up a new show inside Andor. Like, no, we're not going to do that.
Mm.
Andor's a little oasis away from all the crazy chaos, the desert of
Yes, indeed.
content out there.
Look at him.
Someone said, "Did you see Order 66 Big Macs?" Why does that sound familiar?
Did I see it?
Order 60s.
Well,
Order 66.
was
Was
joke.
that a movie tie-in?
It was a meme. The I forget who said it on. I think it was Jeremy read it from chat on FNT. It was really funny. It was about the Chungo Jedi.
Oh, the meme! I saw the meme in the I don't. That's a really good meme. When you are hungry and you wait for Order 66 from McSheev.
McSheev.
Did you see the meme in the EFAP memes? Here, I'll just post it here because I got it.
We can show the people at home.
We can show the good people at home.
Yeah, this is the guy. It's just hard to believe with the Jedi training that you could. But hey, also, why is it taking so long to load? There it is. Takes too long to load.
Ugh.
Good
Discord. It's not my internet. It's a good meme. It's a quality meme. There's already been some quality, high tier memes when it comes to the Acolyte.
Well, I mean,
they're evil actually. That stuff. Yeah, I've been seeing.
I'll be honest with you. I'm a little surprised how engaged everyone is with commenting on the Acolyte. I've actually kind of been like surprised that everyone has torn almost all the plot apart. You know how I've commented on it before, but both Captain Marvel and the Marvels, it felt like people didn't really care about the plot at all. Not much discussion on it. A lot of
no
meta.
one cared about the plot. There was nothing to. Yeah.
But the Acolyte, like, everybody's been talking about how the investigation is balls, the traveling around the world is balls, the way that they approach their lead, the guy in the like potion shop, whatever like all of it didn't make any sense. The way that the two Jedi have been killed, what it said about their characters, the obvious backstory that's totally not going to make sense with everything we've seen so far. I was just like, man, everyone is hyper vigilant with this one in terms of just this story is bad, and it's only 2 episodes in. The space fire, yeah.
Which means it's gonna get worse from here because the longer that the story goes on, the more that they're gonna screw up.
Yeah,
it's just gonna start to add up and collapse, and it's like new contradictions keep arising.
The space fire is like it's not actually like important or anything, but looking at it in terms of it's sort of indicative of something else, a lack of care and a lack of concern for opportunity and what you could tell with story, could do with storytelling. That's sort of the big issue with the space fire is you could have we talk about it in our coverage. Which was very fun to watch.
Episode 1 is out, by the way, if anyone wants to see it.
That's right, everyone.
I'm really surprised, though, by like how much that's dominated the discussion around. Like, in terms of any one element of the show that is like disproportionately talked about, it's that, which I find fascinating.
It might be nobody's fault. It's literally just one person responds to another person responds, and it just explodes.
Yeah, it's like everybody gets dragged into talk. I don't. Like, I'd rather talk about how other things that are wrong with that show. That's all.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean,
there's a lot that's wrong with it aside from that.
You know what it is, right? It just we gotta put little breadcrumbs of her trauma and her history because that's going to become a huge plot point. How do we have it? We can't just have her do it. We got to have something that triggers it. It's like fire because the forest burns down. It's like, yeah, that'll do it. Can we get some fire going? It's like, well, yeah, they're in space. They're on a spaceship. We can just get some fault. There you go.
Do you think that they ever entertain the idea of maybe not showing that until like maybe episode 5 that she has some like trauma instead of in the first scene that she's in?
It's something that is pretty consistent across these shows that we often get still surprised by every time, which is the whole oh wow, they've already banked on this. Damn, that was quick. Okay. And I think it's just because we're still in a mode sometimes of our basic understanding of television stories is that you build up, because you have the time, you can do that, but they still don't. And admittedly, they're very short shows, so.
We talked about it in episode 2, this problem that seems to exist in Disney Star Wars, the Marvel shows, and a lot of other bad shows that have come out recently as well, like the big budget shows. Almost like this weird attitude that something massive has to happen in every episode. You can never just have a normal episode that's building blocks. There's always got to be some big dramatic clash between characters. There's got to be this big bombastic action scene, this crazy reveal. You can never just have a regular episode of TV. Which when you watch all of the good TV shows that everybody like widely agrees are good, that are of this format, hyper serialized, relatively short seasons. It's not like something crazy happens every episode. People remember the crazy stuff that happens, but an important aspect of that is all of the building blocks that were laid in the prior episodes that aren't as memorable, but they're important. Because the problem with these ones is it's like, it's part of the reason why it feels like a huge amount of the story has already happened, even though it's only 2 episodes in, is because there's always crazy shit that has to happen every episode. There's got to be crazy fight scenes, massive revelations, and it can never just be like a normal episode of television.
No, it can't.
Compared to Andor, for instance, right? Where like Andor has big, I guess what you would call action sequences like every 3 or 4 episodes, basically.
I mean, everyone understood when watching it that Andor's goal was, we got this big thing we want to do, so we're going to have to do a few episodes beforehand to build up to it. Like, everyone could see
Andor's
right through it
the
as
only one that
arcs.
actually takes advantage of the episodic format of television, whereas most of the Disney Star Wars shows, it's not that they're like movies, because they're not. It's something. It's like some other problem. Wow, it's bad writing, but
Yeah.
it's just, they don't know how to do it. Like, they can't do it. This show will have an action scene every episode,
and they'll all be terrible.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was gonna say there might be a lot of them, Frankie, but at least they're terrible.
Something as well that's a weird it's a really bizarre like trend in Marvel shows and Disney shows is there's always like one sort of like flashback Spirit Quest episode. Like pretty consistently. There's always like one episode that's essentially like a big flashback. WandaVision had one, WandaVision had one, Ahsoka had one. It's annoying me that Miss Marvel had one.
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight had one. It's usually like episode 4
Blind
or
Manor
5
had one.
Yeah, but we're talking about
it was really good.
Yeah.
But at least that one was good, damn it.
It's so
Well, to be fair,
formulaic.
the Moon Knight one was like not terrible.
The Moon Knight one was
the episode
good.
5 one. Yeah, it was.
Or it was okay. It had some good moments in it. But I'm speaking more so to like there just seems to be this trend that it can never be that the audience gets caught up to like where they need to be through more conventional means of telling the story. There's always got to be a big, all right, let's just drop all of the information here for them. Okay, you caught up. All right, now time for the big battle that's really bad at the end of the season. Remember Moon Knight ending with that big kaiju fight?
Yeah.
God damn, what a
awful.
disappointment.
Man,
I
can't believe
the show with some expectations.
Well, the first episode was like, okay, all right, we're doing something here.
Yeah, but then
not great, not bad. It's like,
Lodge.
okay, you have our interest, and then it like instantly
Yeah.
is like, oh shit.
Thoughts on fire in space, even if there's no gas or liquid present for it to ignite. Anyway, for it to not be a mistake apart from artistic flourish. I mean, the final word on this is just just have it be. I think it's what Ryan said, right, in our coverage. Blowtorch level fire, where it's clearly bursting from something. The fire is maintained because of a flow of oxygen / whatever it's required to maintain in space, even just for a few seconds. Everyone will be fine with it. And showing the Death Star exploding isn't going to make a difference in this. Like being like, see explosions happen.
I guess that's something I find interesting about it is like, yeah, just saying that. Well, there's explosions in space, and that's, it's like, well, I don't know, why is it that so many people have noticed the fire? Like, isn't that interesting? You know, that so many people have commented on it.
The explosion, that's like a moon's worth of like air and atmosphere going
I
up
think,
too.
I think, I mean, when you talk about like the idea of Star Wars and its accuracy to space, I mean, obviously, you know, what's to be made of the sounds, for instance, right? Of like the sounds of blasters and the sounds of explosions. And if the explosions were happening, would they be massive like fireballs, or would they be kind of like what you see in Gravity, right? Where like when an explosion happened, it instantly gets snuffed out. But like, I don't know, man. That just seeing like a fire burning in space is one of those things where it's like, huh.
Because it just looked like a normal fire. It didn't look like it was like a you know, like an exhaust, like I forget what they're called when the flames and something comes out of an exhaust tube off the back of a car or like a drag racer or something. Like you have a gas that is venting quickly out into space and it is on fire. So it's on fire for a little bit and it's like a jet. It looks like a jet of flame. And
most people pointed out it looks like the wind is affecting it, which is really strange.
Yeah. That is very odd.
Vacuum.
Very odd in space. It's not a very windy place, that space.
Not that windy.
The thing is that you didn't have to do it. Like having ships explode in these big fireballs, you've got way more of an argument of, well, that's more cinematic or whatever, right? Like, look at those explosions. Don't they look really cool? It's like, that's one thing. But you didn't need the fire.
There's still so much material that would need to be dealt with in a Death Star that explodes. You know what I mean? So it's...
well, the Death Star in particular is a weird example. I figure you just point to ships exploding, right? Like, you know, like X-Wings and TIE fighters bursting into flames that linger for a while, right?
Yeah.
But again, it's like you didn't need to have it be that there was a panel that was on fire in space that needed to be extinguished.
Well, it's an opportunity to make an interesting rendition of fire in space. You can do stuff with it that would clearly, but like everybody I was seeing reacting to it, which I think is a normal reaction, being like, wait, well, that fire doesn't look right. This is space.
I think that's the thing. At the end of the day, if that many people are having that reaction, was it worth it? You know, when so many people like,
It's the same sort of thing as if she was like, I've got the wrong helmet on for welding, hang on, takes it off completely, but she goes, before doing it, and then puts a different helmet on, we'd all be like, what the f***? Like, you can, and then someone being like, oh, dude, it was like a second, whatever. It's be like, no, you...
Isn't it interesting that in the world of Star Wars, with all of the magic and the lightsabers and the intergalactic travel and everything, it's a little flame in space that makes us all go, wait a second, that's not real. Just goes to show.
Yeah.
The places where the mind breaks are not necessarily in the big things, it's in the little things and how those things interact with what we understand to be just natural laws of the universe.
Hello, you just listened to a segment of the podcast Every Frame a Pause, or EFAP. Hosted by YouTubers Mauler, Rags, and Fringy, and joined by a cycling variety of guests across the internet, they critically analyze media with exhaustive detail while pausing at every single frame. Subscribe to the EFAP channel and catch new episodes on Saturdays, as well as catch their smaller videos reacting to the latest and not-so-greatest movies and TV shows throughout the week. You can also subscribe here to EFAP Highlights for the latest shorts, clips, and supercuts, also uploaded throughout the week. Links to all the relevant channels can be found in the description section below, as well as links to their communities on Reddit and Discord. Thanks for watching.